So for our next entertainment, we have two of our friends here, Matt Bliss and Young Murray. They're going to play a piece by Fritz Kreisler. Fritz Kreisler was an extraordinary violinist, one of the most famous of his time, commonly known for not liking to practice his instrument. He didn't always play the right notes. He often played a little out of tune, but he touched everybody's hearts. Like many musicians, he was struggling to make money, so he wrote lots of music and wrote down that they were written by other people, for which he got sued. And then he had to write in the style of. So this is the piece, Liebeslied, Love Sorrow. But this is actually a Fritz Kreisler original.
Good afternoon. For our next piece, I'm going to make an introduction by just noting the fact that this week we lost three titans of music. The composer of Take 5. Yes, the great Indian musician. And the great American pianist and musicologist. Not Elliot Carter. Charles Rosen. Now Charles Rosen, he liked to think, he liked to be recognized as a pianist, but he really was one of the great thinkers about music, and wrote 2 or 3 wonderful texts. One called The Classical Style, and one called Sonata Forms. And one thing he says about how the music of Beethoven, Mozart, and Haydn in particular was characterized was that they had this fantastic structure that brought out the gestures within that structure. And one thing you like to say about sonata form, what characterizes it, is you have what's called an exposition in which 2 themes, and you're about to hear such a form, 2 themes, and he compares it to a person, a knight at a castle going out to slay a dragon because the dragon has abducted a princess. And he goes out, and he starts in C major in this case, and he goes out into sort of quite safe territory in search of the dragon, and then goes to a closely related place. And then in what's called the development section, he encounters all sorts of difficulties and weird keys. And then he slays the dragon and finally returns home. And so the point of all this is that it tells a story. And within that story, we hear all sorts of gestures. So what we're about to play is 2 movements of a piece that Mozart wrote at the grand old age of 16. And I'm going to read you a little excerpt, because it's fun, that Mozart, a letter he wrote to his sister. His sister, too, is a very fine pianist. He says, "I hope you're well, my dear sister. When you receive this letter, my dear sister, it will be the very evening, my dear sister, on which my opera is to be staged. Think of me, my dear sister, and picture to yourself, my dear sister, with all your might, that you, my dear sister, are seeing and hearing it too. Have you heard yet what has just happened here? Well, I will tell you all about it. We left Count Firmian's today to return home, and when we came to our street, we opened our front door, and what do you think happened? We went in. Farewell, my little heart, I kissed you, my little liver, and am as ever, my little stomach, thine unworthy Vater brother Wolfgang." Okay, so we're playing 2 movements of the string piece in C major, Köchel 1, 5, 7.